Jaime Patillo.
I'm Ryan Patillo, and here we are at my family's heritage farm. It's been in the family for well over 150 years, and it's a very special place that we've enjoyed being a part of, and now looking forward to moving forward and you know, kind of continuing on the legacy, I guess, of the Patillo name that's got a very rich history in this area. There's a long line of Patillos. There should be my dad in here that's helping out with this, but yeah, there's a long line of Georges that started and has continued on.
And the original George, I guess, brought his wife here in 1867, the day that Canada became Canada, a nation.
Yeah,
well,
so July 1st.
July 1st
yeah.
is when the original George Patillo moved in and the house was ready.
So they got married here, and
so did we.
So did we. Yeah, so pretty cool. It was nice to kind of have that little piece of history. And
we've lived here now for 5 years.
We just lived down the road a little ways on Old Tecumseh there, and you know, always had lots of memories as a kid coming down here. And when I was 17, my dad said, "Hey, you know, I've got an opportunity to buy the old farm down there," and kind of asked us what we thought. And I thought, you know, what a great spot. You know, I mean, it was there was nothing around, and so it was pretty cool as a 17-year-old, you know, having your buddies over and having a place to have bonfires and things like that, and had a few bands play and had some pretty good times back here. And we've tried to kind of continue that as maybe on a bit of a smaller scale, but and some different music. But it's been a lot of fun to grow up here. And
well, I heard some other stories that some neighbors would call when it got too loud, but the police didn't know how to get in, and they didn't know. They could hear the party, I guess, but they didn't know how to find the party. So I thought that was actually a little bit funny.
Yeah, well, they walked in and told us to maybe keep it down a little bit. We had a drum kit and maybe some louder amps that were going a little bit too late in the evening, and you know, there weren't many neighbors at that time anyway, so I don't know where they called from. But yeah, when we moved here, I can remember you know, hitting a driver in pretty much any direction, and there was just nothing around. So it's obviously changed quite a bit, but we're really lucky to have the neighbors that we have.
Actually, we've been told since we moved in that the neighbors that surround the farm, they also have a special place for this farm, and they keep repeating, I really hope you guys try to keep it going, because it's I think it means a lot to them seeing the seasons change and having the view of the farm to back in their backyards. It's really neat.
We built a little stage over in front of the barn, and we've had a couple local musicians that have played. It's something we're hoping to continue and hopefully grow.
I would love it to be a stop over for bluegrass and folk bands, to try to have an outdoor venue that can be affordable for people, that can kind of bring the community together. There's lots of ideas, and I kind of am only allowed to say a couple at a time, because it can get pretty exciting for me. But when it does happen and I see these amazing musicians from our local area and I see them get pumped to come here, and just the people dancing and having this energy here is something that I really want to provide for people. So music, we have music. I taught yoga here outdoors during COVID, and I loved that as well. Ryan and I recently put in an 18-hole disc golf course, because that's also another thing that our area, you know, I don't want to say is lacking, but it's been exciting to grow the sport of disc golf in a subdivision. But when people are here playing, they say that it makes them feel that they're far away from everything. So but right now we're in the prime of apple season. So really the events are, I think Ryan just picked like how many
Oh,
bushels of apples.
yeah, yeah. There's lots of apples to be picked. We've got everything ready, and yeah, in regards to the events though, we're hoping to have some weekend type things. My dad and I have a little bluegrass band that sometimes we're the opener or sometimes the only act that goes. But it's fun. It's just fun to play music, and we've had this group called Close Enough for quite a while now, and it's really fun to get out and perform, and it just kind of fits the vibe of the whole place, and you can see people that are out picking and enjoying the music,
And little kids
yeah,
dancing, and
yeah, it's fun.
I'd love to get though like some local breweries in the future, or local food trucks down the road.
Well, the big one right now that is just ready are the Matsu apples. They get quite large, and people love them for baking. They're great for eating. It's just a good all-around apple. So people have been asking about those, and finally today is the day that we're going to open them up and they're ready.
Yeah.
So that's good. But obviously we've got all the Macintosh and
John
of Gold,
Gala.
the Honeycrisp. I know that's the other big apple. Our trees are still pretty small, so we didn't have many of those this year. But hopefully in the years to come, those trees continue to grow and put out some more fruit. So it gets better every year. And
we learn every year that we're here. We learn, Ryan's learned a lot more about growing and the agriculture part of the farm. And it's been interesting for me to learn how many varieties there are here. There's Melrose, there's Ambrosia, Spartan, Cortland. How many varieties? Like
know.
around 20?
Yeah, it's got to be around there. I mean, Fuji. It's hard. They keep coming, But anyway, there's lots of varieties. But yeah, it was we're not able to irrigate, and you are subjected to the whatever happens with the weather and the climate is what happens. So it does present some challenges.
It's been a dry summer.
Yeah, very dry and hot. So some of the apples are a little bit smaller, but what they lack in size, they make up for in sweetness, because it's just the way it goes. They've got to draw the energy from somewhere, and it goes to the apple, and they just become a little bit more sweet. So it's been one of those things that's been very interesting to learn about, and I'm always learning, and I've been in contact with a lot of the local growers and how they get through their integrated pest management type stuff and things like that, and it's a real challenge. Your windows are quite small to try to control some of these things that are trying to get at the apples and
can ruin your crop.
Yeah. So sometimes you learn some hard lessons, but we've got a very forgiving clientele, and people are very great about understanding that it is an orchard that we try to reduce the amount of sprays that we put on, but it is essential to have a crop. So you kind of have to see how that goes. But anyway, like I said, some hard lessons, but it is kind of gratifying when you see the apples all starting to form, and
all the work from the spring and summer, and even the fall and winter, pruning, just seeing all of the apples and the healthy ones, and trying them. They're delicious. They are.
We're hoping to eventually get to a point where we can start to restore the old barn and maybe make it an establishment where we can start to have small events and provide an area for people to come and
whether it's a wedding or a yoga retreat or team building or field trips. I would love to be able to share the orchard, not just for apple season, because so many people that we know and friends of ours, when they say they drive around the corner, it makes them feel that they're away from the busyness. And then personally, I would love to also incorporate some mental health initiatives, whether it's to get people to be able to use the space for therapy, or build a little place where people could come and do their therapy sessions.
Yeah, and to obviously continue with the disc golf course. It's quite a really cool community that comes out and plays and
that we've met.
Yeah, and it's been a really nice addition to the property. And again, it's about the people and sharing it, and you know, we just really enjoy when people come out and play. And
When they have a good time, it
yeah,
totally makes us have a good
yeah,
time.
and it is. It's that kind of place that you get that feeling, and other people enjoying it, and helps you enjoy it a little more as well.
In the past, it's been simply word of mouth. Grace and Doug, Ryan's parents, have been running it their way for many years, and it's still really funny to sit here and watch people come in that live a block or two away, and they don't realize that this is even here. So what my hope for is when people see the aerial view, you can just see how magical it is that this place was able to be saved, and that people would be able to look at it and actually realize, oh, it's not that far, and be able to get the country feeling very close to the city.